Hello, so we're back on our little podcast here, Greg. After such a busy period, we've just been giggling about it because it's just the last time we come on here to speak, we're talking about Proven Hall, and we were going to go in and we were going to talk about the activity from there and our investigation that was coming up, and we're going to have to do that in a separate one because we are still working on parts of that. Because in the meantime, we've had to do Culross, which we'll talk about in a second. We've
Yep.
had to go
You're a
to
little bit busy.
a little bit busy. We've had to go to Ireland. We've had Eilean Donan Castle, and we've got an investigation this Saturday. Let's just go back the way, and we'll talk about, first of all, Culross. So we had an investigation at Culross. What was your opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean, Culross is always a really good one for anyone that hasn't been to it before. It's a full weekend event, full retreat. We had some fantastic people joining us this year to run workshops for us again. We had Sharon joining us again this year. We had Shiloh coming along as well, who was fantastic. Everyone really enjoyed his sessions that he did. And we also had Louise and Lee doing their workshops as well, which again, a lot of people really enjoyed and got a lot from. So, yeah, I mean, the whole event weekend, it went really well. The investigation was really quite interesting. I don't know how you felt about it, but for me, it felt like the spirit of the building was more willing to communicate with us this year than last year.
What comes to my mind for when we done that is we decided we would do a walkthrough. And we took a few pieces of equipment to set up. So we had EDI pluses set up. We basically walked through with the DR60 to walk through with and various devices. And now the purpose of that was for us. I mean, this was us just looking at the environment, walking through, seeing where we were going to set things up for the investigation, and having a look to see where John had actually set up some of the DVR cameras as well for that. And we done what we always do, basically. Right off the bat, we hear footsteps coming from a room that nobody's in there. And we're like, oh my God. But we did film parts of this. We had our mobile phones to do it on the fly. And so we decide as we go into one of the rooms, and it's the room, Greg, if you remember, where all the flies were on the window, which is just absolutely blows my mind, just this one area of the house. And we got the DR60 and actually done it in front of the camera for the folks down in the base room, the lounge, so they could hear or see it too. And we asked if there was spirit there, and we got murder coming back through. Now, we weren't live, we weren't doing anything in particular apart from our own stuff.
Can we hear that again? Clear, I stay.
Is it murder or something like that, isn't it?
I think it's murder, and the first thing that jumps to my mind is, remember, we've got this person that seems to have gone over the banister.
But I think even at that, Greg, we decided, like, right, okay, that's quite interesting. We'll walk through to the other room, and we walked through. Now, I can't remember, I'd have to go back and look at the video as well, because we do so much and so much evidence review. But we got something else, and I said, you know, even if it's just 15 minutes, let's go live to Haunted Scotland, because we need to get this documented.
That was such a good capture. We really had to go live at that point because, I mean, at the end of the day, people would, if anything else like that happened, people would say, no, it didn't. Because the real relevance with that murder, if you recall, was that Louise, the year before, had picked up somebody going over the balcony.
That's right.
Just right beside where that room is. We had some form of communication at that event that indicated where they pushed, where did they fall. And then suddenly get this word, very clear, murder, coming through.
You know, what was a really strange thing with that, and you know, you spoke about the workshops and Shiloh being there as well, because he's a highly spiritual guy. I went down to speak to him, and I was telling him about what had happened. He was located in one of the rooms, obviously, to do his workshops, and it was empty at the time. And said what happened, and he was like, what? And he pointed over to the bookcase, and all the books were like, you know, in this bookcase, but there was one that was facing forward, and the book was called Murder, wasn't it? Like, I think it was James Patterson or something. And I'm like, what is going on here? You know, a lot of people, and you probably had the same getting said to you, a lot of people said that it was pretty much life-changing for them,
I was
that one.
blown away at how many people used that particular phrase. It's life-changer.
Life-changing. I know Douglas said that and a few others. And they've went away because of the way that Culross worked, just if you're listening and you're wondering, the way Culross worked is it was a weekend retreat. We were there from the Friday to the Sunday, and what we did with this one is we know the place has got a haunting. We know the stories there. We knew we were going to investigate. We knew we were going to monitor the location at the same time. We knew we were going to do the workshops, which we'd done the year before. So we've got this variety of different spiritual type workshops and paranormal workshops as well, that you could use some of those techniques when you're doing your investigations. And we brought Shiloh in to do a further healing sessions, really just tuning in and coming out with whatever information he thought people needed. And the way that he was doing it with that, with all these crystals set up, is he would get people in and he had no script. He had no documents to work from or anything whatsoever. It was complete guidance that he uses for his own spiritual practice. And the amount of people who come away from that saying, oh my God, it's changed my life, because he gave them insights, he gave them healing, he told people what they needed to know.
You didn't even know any of them beforehand. That's the even more special, the fact he had no knowledge about who was going to go and see him or anything. He was purely just led by his guides, and to hear the effect it had on the people that were in the sessions, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah,
that's what we're there for, really.
I don't think I've ever remembered, ones that we've done, like events and stuff, where we've come away and people have said that it's actually been life-changing.
Yeah.
People going away saying that it was absolutely amazing. It's
really enjoyed it, things like that.
In a way. Yeah, but I've never heard anybody say it's actually changed their life and they went away. I know there's a few people who have actually went away and put into practice things that they learned in that workshop, and
Absolutely.
the workshops by Sharon, Lee and Louise, and they've used it in their personal life. And I'm hearing stories coming back about how they're using it for manifestation type stuff, how they're using it to improve their lives.
We know one particular good case of that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wow, that is just mind-blowing. Remembering, obviously, we've got the paranormal afterlife subject on top of this. So if you are really, really into a wide range of stuff, for example, you like to do paranormal investigations, you're into spiritual growth, you're into healing, you're into maybe remote viewing, because that was part of the weekend, you're into CE5 protocols and meditations and sky watches, and if you are just into coming with your partner and playing snooker or pool or darts in the games room that we've got and having a little beer while you're doing so and watching the cameras and everything set up, you should come to Culross. That's before I even talk about Lee taking people into the Abbey and on excursions and things. It was just absolutely mind-blowing, wasn't it?
We specifically geared that event, so it's really got something for everyone, but we don't choose what people do either. The workshops are there and people can choose which workshop they want to go and do themselves. If they want to do the same workshop twice, they do the same workshop twice. Each one's going to be different because of the people that are in there, especially with links to Shiloh, because he has no script. It's just he's led. So we don't dictate to people what they should or shouldn't do. Some chose not to do the workshops and just sooner have the more social aspect about it all. Which is all fine. It's entirely up to people what they do. As you mentioned, Lee took a group into Culross for a walk around the Abbey, where he could give us spiritual impression as he did so. So there is something for everybody at that event, no matter what part you're into.
It's become a bit of a favourite, isn't it?
Yeah,
by the way, just to add, we stay there and it is basically, I was going to say all-inclusive, but you don't get your drinks for free. So it's full board, basically. You get your tea and coffee for free, but you're not getting any alcohol and drinks or that for free. But yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. It's one of our highlight events of the year becoming now. It's the second time we've held this. Unfortunately, Gail couldn't join us on this one because she had a little bit of I would say a health scare, but not an actual scare. She had to go and deal with a few things, and it would just have been really problematic for her to come along. She was there the year before. I'm no doubt she will come next year as well. And she even sent a little video for everyone to tell them she was missing them on the night. And
for Gail, anytime she wants to join us at that or any of the events, but particularly that one, just let us know and we will make it happen.
Absolutely. So we come away from Culross on the Sunday. I took a big drive of a couple of hours. You took a big drive back up to your bit. We threw our clothes in the washing machine. We got them washed and dried, packed our cases with charged equipment, and then went to Ireland.
I charged my gear, then just left it at home anyway.
You brought your ES box though, did you not?
Yeah, I brought the important piece of kit.
So we went to Ireland. It was part of Chris Fleming's Irish tour. Now, obviously, a lot of people know that Chris is, again, he's had a bit of a health scare and a battle with leukemia. A battle that he's winning, but unfortunately, due to going through that, he couldn't make the trip to Ireland. Just, with his condition, he can't afford to be catching any kind of diseases, bugs, or anything like that. His immune system obviously takes a bit of a battering going through the treatment. But Dave Schrader stepped in to run that tour for him, along with me at Secret Ireland Tours Limited. So we went over and we took part and we made our way down to Blackwater Castle via a few locations en route. Blackwater Castle, if people remember, was in Spooked Island, and I got a sleepless 3 days probably there when we were there.
Better this year, I would say, but that's because you were in the wee cottage.
In the wee cottage this year, so it wasn't as bad. So we met up with Dave Schrader, we met up with the amazing people from America, some of them paranormal investigators as well, people we knew and remembered from the Spooked Scotland tour the year before, and we had an investigation. We done a little investigation with Dave and the crew in the bar area where the ladies seen and in the tower. But I want to ask you what your impressions of the place, because this is the first time you've been there.
Yeah, I mean, that castle is special. We visit a lot of places, and there's, people know we have our favourites. Burgundy's my favourite. I know it's one of your favourites as well. I know you've got other top locations as well, but that place, the second you walked in, there's just something about it, and it's difficult to put your finger on what. It's definitely layered. It's definitely, old, ancient energy. That's not to say there's more recent spirits there as well, but there is just something mystical about the whole area. The tower is quite strange. We spent some time trying to work out about the spiral, although we eventually got the answer from the owner himself that it's not actually as old as people may believe, but although it's not that old, what it symbolises, something that'll deeply affect, think what happens in that castle. But yeah, I mean, the corridor for the ladies scene as well, there's something very strange about that area. I went down and did the Yes No box session while you were doing the DR60 sessions with Dave. A couple of guests wanted to go and try the Yes No box in the next door room. And we got quite a strong male energy that said it was there to protect the children of the castle. We asked if he was there, if he protected them in life or death, and the answer was both. So there's definitely a lot of information still to be found about that place, and I think we might just have to go back.
I think we'll have to go back as well, and I think that could happen sooner than people could imagine.
How you felt going back to these locations? That's the first time you've been back in these locations for a while.
Yeah, so. It was strange for me. It was strange because I didn't have Chris there with me at the same time, and obviously that sticks to your head when you go back to these places. So it felt weird. I was back with different people from America and meeting Dave Schrader for the first time in person, and us all going a long drive to get there, and us all going down there and taking part in it. I was not surprised at some of the activity we got when we were there. I was surprised to get the name Michael to come through really clearly, and a few of the characters come through are quite strange. I'm not surprised some of the stuff we got in the tower or anything like that. I'm just looking at the screen and I've seen a big thumbs up there.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was about.
Okay, there it goes again.
Even it agrees. Even my phone agrees with me. It was weird being back. It was good to be in the cottage and not be in the castle this time. I do know that the twins who were over from America slept in my old room, and one of them had a notoriously difficult night and was like hearing the spirit up there, and I'm not surprised. She had the same thing as what I had. She had the exact same thing, and it's a weird one. It's a weird one in there. Now, to add into it, So that was great, and you can go and watch the video, and the video's up, and fantastic stuff. We went into Cork,
Yes.
and we went to the school. Now, I know you lit up when you knew we were going to the school,
Yes.
because this was your chance to get your teeth into this one, because you'd seen what had been put out, you'd seen the international news, you'd seen what I'd said about it, and you'd seen Spooked Island. Now you got to walk along those corridors.
Yeah, I really, really wanted to see this one for myself, because it is one of these for anyone that's seen the video. Will know exactly what I mean, and I think you agree yourself. I know Chris had similar feelings as well, that it's so good. You question, is it staged? Almost anyone looking at it's going to jump to the conclusion this is staged, but you'd already explained to me a lot of the the theories about how it was done. Couldn't be correct, because it's on first floor. A lot of people were thinking that it's people leaning through the windows, rattling these cabinets, etc. But it can't be, because it's on first floor, and the window doesn't open until higher up anyway. So it's physically impossible. That the one thing that really hit me about that school though is, if it was staged, it's very strange that after we'd been shown round by the principal, he turned round and said, "Go anywhere you want, on you go."
Yeah,
it was completely open invitation. Go anywhere, check anything. There's no limitations on it. There's no, you can't go in that area, can't look in this bar. It was on you go. So there was clearly nothing they were trying to hide. I went and spent some time, working in one of the classrooms upstairs with the group, and I took that opportunity to go down to the locker area on my own. And very little scares me connected to paranormal, but I felt really, really uneasy when I was down there. I don't know why. I can't rule out it was possibly just my head kicking in about what I'd seen, the videos that I've seen, and the anticipation of something like that happening. But it's just a real feeling of uneasiness in and around that area. And I'll let you talk about what happened the next day.
Well, I mean, at the time, I'll tell you what, Dave Schrader done an audio session inside the bathroom, and there was screaming, screeches in there, and he sent me the video, and I'm still working away on some of the audio on there. He left his recorder inside. You hear him going outside. You could hear the noises on it.
So I left my recorder for a second time in that bathroom when we all moved out and we were down in the biology lab. That's me leaving. No. No, that's me. No.
That's a sweary word, isn't it? Oh my God.
That's me going back in.
Something didn't want us in there. On top of that as well, I went, as you say, to the science lab inside the school. But I went along to there, and it's a place that was actually used when we done our investigation for Spooked Island. See, this is the problem. I can't remember. I can't remember what's in the show, so I can't remember if it's actually been shown. It may have been, it may not have been, but we did use that area. And we got captures in there. There was actually knocks and taps coming from the area in front of us, and we all heard it. There was. I mean, it wasn't just me. There was a few of us there. And we were trying to do a DR60 EVP session at the time, but we got the feedback we got when we asked about secrets in there. There was one, and you'd have to go and watch the audio we caught, but one was like, "Nothing happened here." Was one of the captures, and I'm like,
right, yeah.
Recorder there, and this is your chance to leave us a message. Anything you want to tell us.
This is recorded there, and this is your chance to leave us a message. Anything you want to tell us.
I sort of felt like, do I really believe you? Or is it, which spirit is telling me this?
Yeah.
So that was one. Another one was something about the children. The children were upset in there, and I can't remember the exact phrase that was used, but I was like, wow, that is absolutely crazy. So we got two really, really good captures in that angle, and then Dave let us hear what he had got as well. So all of this merged together is just, it just blows my mind. We didn't have a great deal of time, and I know the guys at Cork Paranormal were going in afterwards, and I think they had quite a quiet night on the face of it, but I think they were going to go through hundreds of hours of footage as well. So it'd be interesting to see how they got on with that.
The other thing I would say quite interesting about that place is, keep referring back to video because that's what everyone knows. But what the staff were telling us about other incidents, both before and after the video, it wasn't a single incident. Things have been happening in that school for years, and they still continue happening right up until very, very recently.
Well, the most latest one, as you were alluding to before, is the next day I got a message hit my inbox from Aaron Wolf, who is the principal at the school, and fantastic guy. And he sent me a picture, and it was the first thing it opened up, and it was a door that was off its hinge, lying against the stairs or the wall at the stairs. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, what in the heck is going on here? And then there was another picture which a lot of people might have not seen, because I know the first one's been shared about, which shows where it come from. And to me, it seems like rather than it being thrown or anything like that, it's fallen off the actual door, and obviously, and fell backwards. He said that basically the cleaners the next day had went in and found the door like that, and there was two things. There was that. The other one was when he knocked off the electric for the Cork team to do their work. Unfortunately, it knocks off the CCTV cameras, and he's wondering if he would have caught something if the cameras had been on. And he says it's just another one of these things where strange. I mean, he's saying himself it might just be coincidence. He's not playing it up as anything beyond that, but he says it's just another one of these strange things.
I think that's how we have to play it, but nobody can say it's 100% paranormal because, as you say, nobody saw what happened.
We didn't see what happened,
how it fell, what exactly the circumstances. But if we look back at the reported incidents in that school, doors opening and being slammed with force, it's a common feature in that building. Doors getting locked with people inside that then have to phone somebody to come and unlock the door basically and let them out. There's a common theme at the school connected to doors. So, I'm open to anything happening at that property, particularly to do with doors.
I always say the same thing, and you've just hit it again, is to always be open to everything but attached to nothing.
Yes,
we'll move with what is discovered as we move forward. We take things as they are in front of us, and then we see how it plays out after that. And this is another one of those cases is, okay, this is what we've got. This is how things have been found. This is what's been reported to us. So we file it as that until we go back, because we have an invite to go back there and investigate overnight at the school, and that will be coming. Fantastic. So yeah, the island, and then we've done other things there. The tour was fantastic that May and Secret Island Tours put on, and a big kudos to Chris, who was instrumental in securing a lot of these places. But you left Ireland. We'd done a few things in Cork the next day, and then we decided to make the long trip back up and travel overnight back into Scotland. We rested. We got some content out. We got a few videos placed out and caught up with some of our work. And then we just had a small trip to Eilean Donan Castle.
Yes, yeah. We had a quick trip to Deerpark Castle in between as well.
So we did, yeah. Forgetting that one.
With some of the guests from the Ireland tour. They were good enough to invite us to join them at Deerpark, which was brilliant. Amazing castle. We'll talk about that another day because we have an event booked there now. So
Deerpark Castle. I think because one of the captures telling us not to touch the items which we caught live.
Yes,
and there is what swung us to say, let's book it and let's do an investigation. Let's take some of the public along with us.
100% intelligent activity in there.
It was that good, and I tell you what, we're certainly laying our funds out there to secure places like this, because we certainly don't do it for a financial reward anyway. That's for certain. It costs us.
By us doing it, it gives other people an opportunity to join us. Collectively we can cover the costs. But yeah, then up to Eilean Donan. third year that we've been doing that.
Third year, I think.
Third year, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really good investigation as well. I did the kitchen area this year, which is I'd done below the kitchen before in the servants' quarters, but I actually worked in the kitchen area itself this year, which I think you did last year, and you had the K2 flying off the table at one of the guests in there. And I think it was our second session. We had, it sounded like somebody knocked over a massive pile of plates or cups out in the corridor. Oddly, nobody else heard it in the castle, and there was nothing disturbed, but it was physical noise. There wasn't over equipment or anything. So yeah, I mean that was quite surreal again this year. Unfortunately, when I checked my camera, it stopped recording after 4 minutes.
That's the usual way.
Gracie had a camera in that room as well, so I'm hoping she's caught the audio. As and when she has time to get on to checking it.
And it's a weekend thing for us as well, going up there, and we do other stuff on the Saturday. But this year, I was back inside the exhibition room where I'd been, not last year because we didn't have access, but the year before. Nothing but, footsteps, light knocks, banging noises, audio captures. For 3 of the 4 sessions, it was really active. I think one of the sessions was really quiet. I think things like died a death, pardon the pun, at the end. I mean, up to that point, it was just, I can't wait to get really into the analysis of that. Obviously, we've got lots of things that we're working on, and we just have to work through them, and we'll get stuff sent by the subscribers and others who were there. But I can't wait to see exactly what we've got from there, because that is going to be another special one, and one that people are going to be really interested in seeing the data from, the EDI pluses, like you're saying, footage from cameras, anything that Tracy and John may have picked up on DVR, because we really, really covered that place massively. But before we even got there, on the Saturday, we went to, I won't name the location, but we went to a place on Skye. It was a hotel, bed and breakfast, guest house, and they've been having certain pieces of activity, and something happened right in front of us that we didn't see happen in the attic.
Yeah, it was a
You
very...
remember what that was?
Yeah, it was I'm not going to forget that one for a long time. It was a very strange experience. We went into the attic area, and it was just a long, completely empty attic. Quite dimly lit, but you took a few photographs initially, just so you had the lay of the land, and because you wanted to put up a post on social media to show people where we were. And we were doing, Lisa went away and she got some good contact through our dowsing rods out in the corridor in the top of the stairs. But when we were in the attic itself, we first went in, Louise picked up on a wee boy playing with a ball. So Tracy put the cat ball down thinking maybe he'll come and play with the ball. I don't remember it ever going off during the time we were there. But when she went to pick it up, there was a tiny little bright purple Christmas bauble, almost a ball, sitting right beside her. Now that just appeared from nowhere. We checked the photographs, it's not in the photographs.
It wasn't there.
It's a wee, you know what baubles sound like on a wooden floor. You couldn't kick that and it without you hearing it going over the floorboards and everything. It just appeared. And right beside the cat ball. It was just one of these looking around each other going, who did that? But no one did it.
Yeah. It was the most surreal thing for me, because me, you, and who was the third person? There was somebody else with us. 3 of us were just standing there at the one area, and this was unfolding further along the attic space, and we didn't hear anything, we didn't see anything, we weren't even within reaching distance. It was just out the way. Yeah. Now, the only skeptical thing that we did, and we'd done a check on it at the same time, was Louise's husband was there, Ian, and Ian says that he had walked around and he had felt something at his foot at the back, but he didn't kick anything, nothing moved, and he went to have a look with Louise, and it was, I can't remember what it was. It was a piece of metal. It was there anyway.
Yeah, but he actually found, and bear in mind a sceptical mind, he found what it was. He was quite satisfied that it was that he'd
He was
felt it
satisfied,
wasn't.
yes. Ian's very, he's sceptical. He's open-minded, but he's sceptical. Head very much screwed on. Comes along with Louise, and, you know, if at any chance he had even seen any kind of Christmas decoration around, he would have pointed it out massively. He would have said that, yeah, there's stuff there. Then we found out that they had actually cleared that space out of Christmas decorations. I think it was the week or the month before.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks before. It seemed like it had been completely stacked full of Christmas decorations, and they had cleared it out, which again brings in this question, maybe it was always there, but we have that photographic evidence.
There was the photograph. I took the photograph for social media. I put it up. It's actually time-stamped. I put it up on the Haunted Scotland to show everyone. When that happened, I was like, oh, okay. So I went back into my photographs. I went into the filters and the adjustments inside the photos, and I lifted all the shadows in the photo. So what that, in effect, does is any dark spots and shadows, it brightens it up and lifts them out the way so that I could see every single corner of the room, and there was nothing. And I actually have that photograph, and I'll share it. There was nothing there. And I'm like, it doesn't exist. Nobody could get past us to place it. There was only one way in and out, and that was to come beyond us. We had a team of people there who nobody would do that anyway. There was no staff in the area, not that they would do that either. They're intrigued, not fussy in that way. It was very childlike activity. It was an report.
As Louise pointed out, purple's a very spiritual colour. So
Yeah.
the fact it's purple, you know, gives a stronger indication that it's potential spirit activity. I certainly can't come up with any other plausible
Logical
explanation
for it. See, when things like this happen, this is what makes it worthwhile. Just these little golden nuggets of activity that happen, and just lucky, really, really blessed to experience them. So we've done Eilean Donan. For people who might be interested, we are already booked to go back there for the weekend in November 2025.
Yes.
To continue our investigations and weekend and gather more evidence. That's how far ahead we've got bookings, because everything's booked out. So we've got to continually put things up for people. And with that, I was just going to actually go through a few things that we've got, Greg, so that people can understand. I know people are always asking us. I see posts, please, you know, tell us when there's an event on. They're all booking out. We need to come along to one, and we totally understand. And just to explain how this works before we go any further is, we do have a subscribers club, and we do have to look after those subscribers. And it's part of what we offer them is that when we book something, well before it goes public, we list it. Not so they just have to run away and book it straight away, just to give them prior warning that this is going to be going public in the near future. Are you interested in coming? You can reserve a spot just now. You can go and book your ticket. It's up to yourself the way that you want to do it. But you've got to a certain amount of time, and then we put it public. And it's just basically that we've got to look after our membership, and this is part of the...
Yeah, it's one of the perks of premium membership. That the flip side and one of the advantages of premium membership is for regular event goers, as many of our premium members are, you're allowed to book your own ticket plus one.
Plus one, yeah.
Anyone that's booking 2 tickets for an event actually gets their monthly membership fee back, effectively, in discounts in the ticket. So, you know, it's a win-win for premium membership members, because they get their fee back, and they get pre-warning of events, so they can book them in advance. A lot of the events we do is, as you said, you know, they're booked well in advance, but we have to book them well in advance to secure them. A lot of them, like Eilean Donan and things like that, you have to travel, you have to book hotels, so it gives people the opportunity to do that well in advance, so it's not last minute. But we also have the additional factor that more and more locations are asking for non-refundable deposits up front, well before events, which is why, you know, we have to have them listed and try to get some tickets away so we can then cover the cost of that deposit. But yeah, there's definite advantages for premium membership if you're a regular event goer. That's not even talking about all the other advantages of being a premium member, you know, just for the events.
I completely agree on the membership front. Just to be exactly clear on why it even started in the first place was we've got an HQ headquarters. We were doing some nights and some stuff there. People wanted to donate towards our research and to help, and we were very uncomfortable in taking donations without giving. But we're always about giving, and that's the way we've always worked things. So this was a brainchild that come out of that, and it was actually people who were in the subscribers who come up with the idea. They helped the founding members, if you like, to come up with this idea, and they just love being part of it, part of a family. It's not just a community; it's part of a family. Everybody, they have dinner together, they travel together, they give each other lifts, they look after each other, they pick people up when people are down, they take part every day in chat rooms, and they get massive FOMO when an investigation comes if they don't book. How many people turn around and say, I'm not going to come to this one, I'm going to miss it out, and then 2 days before it, is there anything that's left? Because just the whole ritual, if you like, of going to the location, they go for their dinner and the meetups and meeting up with friends and then taking part in an evening which bonds you to do this kind of stuff, especially when activity is happening and you're going through it together, and then the aftermath, and they get to take part and they can see everything that's happening in the subscription group as well and what people are discovering, and they get advance warning of anything that's coming up. And with that, moving forward, yes, we've got Blackwater Castle at the weekend and a lot of people are there, and it's a fantastic location. And we've also got Inverary Jail that's coming up in December, which is also fully booked out. But on that subscriber point, as we come forward, Closeburn Castle, subscribers only. Nice, small, close-knit group of people working with us. There will only be about 15 probably there of us. And we will try and find out what's happening at Closeburn.
The advantage with that type of investigation as well is it's what we call you are the investigator. So we don't run the sessions for people. The guests that are booked on this type of event are more than capable of running their own investigation. So we can use our connections, our ability to book locations, and then the guests can come along and pretty much run their own small investigation. We will set a couple of tasks, questions, find out who this spirit is or what wants this area. It's up to them how they run it and what they use to try to find that answer. And then at the end of the night, we will review what's been captured and do we have the answer to the question we asked.
So, Pearce Institute in January, it's starting to pick up on tickets.
Yeah, it was a little bit slow initially, but it's picking up quite seriously now. It's around 50% sold out now, and the sales are definitely speeding up in the rate of sale. So I don't.
People are interested; they should book and not wait because everything else is booked out.
Yeah,
I know Bannyburn's booked out, Inverary Jail's booked out, Closeburn for the subscribers is booked out. Am I right in saying we're going to the Vaults in February, which is nearly gone?
The Vaults, which has four places left,
tickets.
And then we have Blackwater Castle, which also it's only got three left. But
and that's for, am I right in saying that's next March?
That's next March, yeah.
Right, okay, so that's nearly gone as well.
Hey folks, quick pause to tell you about something truly special coming up this January, and honestly, it might just be the perfect Christmas gift for someone in your life who loves a good thrill. Imagine a night in the depths of winter where history meets the paranormal right here in Glasgow. On Saturday, January the 25th, we're inviting you to join us at the legendary Pearce Institute for Lady Pearce's Eternal Vigil. Step into the grand mysterious building in Govan, where the echoes of the past still whisper and where Lady Dinah Pearce herself is said to watch over from the shadows. Think you're brave enough to catch a glimpse of her in the MacLeod Hall? You'll start with a psychic ghost walk led by incredible mediums Lee Dunn and Louise Walker, and then dive into the ghost, vigils, spiritual experiments and ITC research. We're taking the Franks box, the DR60 recorders and all the tools you've seen us work with on TV, and it'll be right in your hands. Join me, RyanO'Neill, and my partner Greg Stewart for an unforgettable night of paranormal investigation. Spots are limited, so grab yours soon, and hey, memberships get 10% off. Ready to book? Just head over to the link in the show notes or visit our page.
Jedburgh Jail in April, we've got a lot of work to still do there because we're getting great stuff.
But possible location coming in between them. We're just waiting for them to come back.
Waiting on word coming in that.
To say whether they're willing to host one.
When's Deerpark Castle?
I don't know, I can't remember. We've got that many, I can't actually remember when it is.
So we've got Deerpark Castle anyway.
Yes, yep.
We've got Deerpark Castle. Right, so we've got Deerpark. And at that, we'll just slow it down because we've got a lot of things coming on. There could be overnights at locations, camping. There could be a tour in there. I'm not even going to tell anybody what kind of tour it is because this is top secret. Greg's been working behind the scenes on, so there could be a tour coming in. There will be a tour coming in there as well. Yeah. We'll be back at Culross. We'll be back at Eilean Donan Castle, and we obviously will be back at Balgony.
Tours that we're looking at will almost certainly include going to Balgony Castle as well.
So, I mean, we've got lots and lots on. And just remember, and I have to be clear on this, I think you'll agree with me, Greg, is, these are event investigations, a lot of them public, a lot of them for subscribers. There is a research element to this. Any ones we do that are 8 till 2, that might be at a Pearce Institute, for example, we always have certain rooms that are locked off areas. We gather data, we've got cameras set up, we gather EDI data, we use all the audio we've got, we look at the historical research. It's got this element where you can come and join and be part of that, but it also has a serious element for our research purposes.
We are far more than just an events group. In fact, we're not an events group, full stop.
Yeah.
But we are paranormal researchers who host events, which helps other people come along and join us. We've always said since we started the journey that we wanted to allow people to come along with us, give people opportunities that we never had through our initial research. So these events, yes, you can just come along and enjoy the event and then that's it. But equally, all the research that goes in afterwards, we've got all the videos coming out. You tend to sit and analyse everything. Tracy does as well. She sits and goes through hours and hours and hours of video footage for these locked off areas, looking for things happening, and she catches quite a lot in that. So it is this research, it's building the story. It's not just we go here, it's haunted right next. It's who hunts it, why do they hunt it. Get the respect, get the communication built up, get familiar with the spirit energy of these locations. And for us, we have to keep our own passion going as well. So we have to get something from it as researchers too. It's a massive complex thing rather than just turning up and hosting an event.
Wish it was that easy.
Yeah. It's not even just after the event, it's pre-event as well. The amount of time spent, especially if it was a relatively new location. Even if it's a location that we maybe just, I think Eilean Donan, and we only do that once a year. And we had to spend time going over what we captured last year and the year before, to fresh our own memories, because, we forget, because we go to so many locations.
Yeah, Eilean Donan Castle, I was in the apartment because we stayed in the castle, and I was reading the report before the investigation started, and I was looking back at some old footage from 2022, I think it was. So it wasn't even recent stuff, it was back a bit. And this was me refreshing exactly what angle I could take with my questioning and my research. So, I mean, we've always doing that. And that's a good thing about having reports. We've got full reports on these places, and our subscribers have access to that. And, if you want to go deep, that's the way to go.
It lets us continue the story, because, even though we haven't been there for a year, having all the documents, all the videos, all the written articles that we've done about it, we can check back, as you say. It's not going in completely fresh, completely new story type thing. This is what happened in the past. These are the areas we're picking because of what happened in the past. And this is what we're looking to build on. A lot of work, but it's quite rewarding when things happen.
So what we will do in the future is we want to continue putting some podcasts out, because our subscribers want it. A lot of people are want to do this. They want to listen when they're doing stuff. They're driving the car. they're at work, they're exercising and stuff. And we will continue to do that. And I think it'd be good for us with such a busy programme coming up, would be to talk about these locations more in depth, because I want to talk about John Sibbald, I want to talk about the energy capture, I want to talk about the cells at Inverary, and the best way we could do that to cover them perfectly for people would be, we'll do podcasts as we go through, and we'll talk about the activity, what we've had in the past, maybe even what we get during these, Greg, and we'll just continue that. So people who want to watch the videos, they can watch videos, they want to read your articles because you put articles and books out, they could do that as well, or they could come and listen to us talking, because it's just us thrown back and forward to each other, talking about some of these subjects we're passionate about.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
enthusiastic
Any
about.
pre-record, we can look to include any snippets and things like that in.
Yeah.
So people that haven't maybe heard the catches know what we're talking about. The other thing I think that we need to, we've talked about doing, and we need to now do it, is a live podcast.
We will.
That people can
We'll
come
do
out
that.
and ask us questions as we go as well.
I think we need to do that. I think people will want to come and ask us stuff, and I will put that down as one of the things for me to look into with the new setup, would be to get a live one at least in a month if we can, because I want to talk to people and I want their stories and I want their feedback, and I want to hear. You know, it's the only way to learn is to listen to other people. I don't want to be the person that knows everything, and I never will know everything. I want to be the person that's learning from everybody else around about me.
Doing something like this live, you know, where we will get people even talking about Blackwater Castle. We'll get people that lived in that area that played in the castle before it became occupied again. You know, played there as kids and what they've encountered. We've already had people contact us about that, and that, you know, played there when they were kids and they encountered the Green Lady and things like that.
Document and make sure they don't get lost to time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that the future people and generations and people interested in what we do could look back and still have these, because you know what it's like when we try and look back some old stories. We get some, maybe the mid 1800s, late 1800s. There is older ones, but a lot's been lost in time.
Yeah, things get lost. Plus, I always say that the local evidence is far stronger than anything else. People that have lived it, seen it, experienced it. You know, you can read stories in the books that are the author's interpretation of what they've been told, but to hear it directly from the people that experienced it, that's where the real value is. And these are things that aren't written down anywhere. So unless people come forward and speak to us about it, you know, they do get lost, as you say. So it's important that they are noted and documented.
We won't allow it to happen.
No.
Haunted Scotland will make sure they go out.
Exactly. And talking of Haunted Scotland, we have been extremely busy for something else, haven't we, Mr. O'Neill?
Yeah, there's a book coming out. There's a book with some of the locations we've done in Spooked Scotland. Not some of them, I think every one of them's in there. And just a unique perspective from my point of view of what I was seeing. It's not telling every single aspect of what happened on the TV, because people could go and watch that. It's just me picking a few different aspects after speaking about the history and the ghost story that's associated and what actually happened during the during my time there, what I experienced, and some of the things that didn't make it as well. I'm sure there's a few things in there that I spoke about that didn't make the show, especially funny things. You know, you've seen that on Facebook. We spoke about Chris thinking he was stealing a bit of cheese from a cheese board and it was butter, and I sat there watched him thinking, what are you doing? Just let him go. Just let him do it. Just let him do it. You know, and I've got the picture. I've got the evidence. So it's just things like that. Things like getting locked in, as you said, still in Old Town Jail. The one thing that didn't make it in, and you'd recalled for me, was the time where me and Gail in Glasgow went into the shop that sold the Star Wars masks, and that people were waiting for us to come back. We come back with the Darth Vader and things on.
One of the main
directors
from the production company sitting there, and you two walk in with the Star Wars masks on.
It's the things that happen, isn't it? We're in Glasgow after all. So yeah, the book's there. The book will come out. It won't be a massive read. It's just really covering some of that stuff and a few of my insights and reflections.
I think it's your insights that's going to be the valuable thing for the readers. Because, you know, it actually, we can all sit and watch the TV show, but, you know, you can give that insight into what happened on every day, what your own thoughts are of the locations. Because again, we can watch the show, we can get a feeling from watching the TV. As I said, it's when you hear it from the people that actually experience it.
Yeah.
That's when the really good information comes forward. So
And there'll be
rooting
so
for
much
it.
more to come out. There's so much more that I've probably forgotten about, and we could cover. Follow us on social media, best way, because if there's articles and stuff going onto the portal on the website, that would be the best place for those as well. And then obviously we've got Ireland, which I will try my best to put together after people have read this one, and then we've got lots of other works like the ITC research we want to talk about. I know you've got a book that just came out like 2 days ago, based on, was it Perth? Was it Secret Perth?
Yeah, it's the darker side, the forgotten and hidden history.
Yeah.
That shaped Perth. Unfortunately, the editorial restrictions of these books means that I can't include everything that I wanted to include, but I've picked the ones that I think people will be most interested in. So that's just been released, so we will see how it does.
I know you won't probably talk about it too much, but you teased something. Like, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Yes.
What was that?
She'll
You
rise
don't need to
again.
tell it all, because I know you're teasing it up,
No,
but what? Give us just
It's an idea that I had years and years ago, and I did write the book, but my writing style was very different there, and my thought about books were different then as well. So I never thought I felt gave the story justice. So it's going through a full rewrite, going from novelette to full novel. But the very rough premise is that for the Scottish Witchcraft Act by 1735, when that was repealed, there was about 4,000 to 6,000 people executed for witchcraft, and they were all innocent, or were they?
Whoa, this is
And I
another
will leave it at
cliffhanger.
that.
Right, fantastic. I'm going to stop there. Keep us underneath that hour. We will be back with another chat in the near future, and we'll look at that live stream to get people involved, get interactive. So let us know your thoughts on that if you would like us to do that. And in the meantime, it's time for us to go catch up on some work and then get ready for Balgony this weekend.
See you later. Bye-bye.